Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah, and in today's video we're going to continue market prepping together. In this video I am planning on actually focusing on market prep. A lot of my previous vlogs have been just kind of working on a bunch of random stuff, but I'm at the point now where I feel like I really need to focus. So my first market prep item that I'm working on is these cows, or are these cows. This is Cooper the calf. It's my own pattern. Links in the description as always, but I was restocking my colorful ones. I have a pink, yellow, orange, and a purple one that didn't sell at my last event, but these two colors did, so I did remake them. I actually had to do a little bit of adjustments for the color work because I changed colors different than I used to, so the color work was a tiny bit off. I just added an extra single crochet and it fixed it right up. I have the green one here and then the blue one. Here you can see more clearly that the color work's a little off, but it's not too noticeable, honestly. And then I'm also working on some basic white. I like to do gray instead of black. It's pretty much the same thing, right? But I'm working on 3 of these. I can't remember exactly how many I have left of these cows, so I figured 3 is a nice number. If I have 1, then that's 4. If I have 2, that's 5. And I have 3, that's 6. So it all works out. I do have some clips of last night, me fixing up my yarn zone, so I'll probably roll those clips now. Please ignore the frogs outside the window. They're super annoying, but our air conditioner's broken. I need to let some of that cool wind in. But right now I'm proof watching this video. This is my next market vlog that will be out by the time you see this one. I have a cow update, but we'll do that in the morning when the lighting's better. Right now though, while I proof watch this, I'm going to fix my yarn stash. So let's go ahead and do that together. So I have a couple of spots here that I can put some yarn in and fill in some holes. Right now all my extra yarn is in bags and sitting on the floor in those bags. So I want to try and get as much of this specific yarn on the shelf. So we'll see. Sorry for the jump cut, but here's the other shelf. I have this shelf, this one, and then this one that I can fill up. And you can see it's almost empty, which is good. Not almost empty, but kind of empty. So I'm gonna fill up these spots. This is kind of like my ugly skeins, and then the other shelf I showed you was my nice one. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this up together. Okay, video is now being exported. I proof watched it and it was all good. I actually accomplished quite a bit, so let me walk you through what happened. Here's the first shelf. I didn't do too much to it. The top shelf is still exactly the same. Second shelf, I just rearranged the yarn a little bit, made it a little more cohesive because this is my photo zone, this zone over here. And then I fixed up this shelf, put my little crochet things back, which those guys will be coming to market with me, but they can live there for now. And then I filled that bottom shelf up. So nearly every skein of this yarn has a home now. There's a couple that I'm using. They do not have a home anymore, but they will just go back in one bag. I used to have 3 bags of yarn, now I have 1. That is the one shelf, my photo zone. Let me go show you the other zone. Here's the other shelf, and over here is still really chaotic, but it's not a huge mess anymore. This is the shelf that holds all my ugly yarn, used skeins, stuff like that. Not like the color's ugly, but like they're not shaped nice anymore. I have 3 shelves of the Sweet Snuggles Light Chanel Home Slim, and then I have my Not So Pretty Velvet down there. And then I have bags of yarn, which is what it is. I don't really have any other option at this point, but I have like Burnout Blanket, bag for scrap yarn. This is Baby Bear and Posh, and then that stuff right there is a Hobby Lobby yarn. I bought that for a specific project. Clearly I didn't make anything out of it. And then I have Baby Velvet there and Skinny Chanel there. So as you can see, there's still not enough space. There's a shelf here which is full. I'm planning in the future to have another shelf here. I don't know when that will be, if ever, so we're just accepting what we got for now. It's fine. That is what I worked on though. That's my giant appa up there, which I feel like he didn't receive as much love as he should have when I made him, but he can live up there until market day. Honestly, the only thing that I have to do now is just continue crocheting and using up that yarn. But then the other thing is I really need to clean up my actual crochet plushie stash because it's looking crazy, but we'll do that later. One step at a time. So right now I'm going to finish these cows. They still need all their legs, so I have to make 12 legs, and I'm going to do that today and hopefully finish them today. I have to sew everything together as well, which is what it is. But I also have my puppies here from my last video, and I am working on another one. Here's my pile of pieces. Probably going to work on that more later in this week because I just want to focus on some market prepping stuff. I'll check in with you in a bit. I know the last clip ended pretty abruptly, but we are on the next day now. Yesterday I worked on these cows and I finished one. I finished all the legs for the other two as well. I just need to sew them together. So I'm going to do that sometime today. Finish those guys up. That is the cow update. And then the other thing is I ordered some tags. Last year, if you saw my market vlog, then you're aware that I was making my own tags. It was a very time-consuming process and I really didn't want to do that again this year. I have a lot of items I need to tag, a lot more unique items, but here's what my tag looks like. I ordered these from Vistaprint. It's where I also order my business cards. Now, I did design these in Canva. Sorry Canva, but Vistaprint is a little bit cheaper in terms of printing. For the most part, I always get good quality. I did get business cards earlier in the year, last year, and they had a nasty film on them, but they just went ahead and reprinted them for me, and honestly, I didn't expect that, so I really appreciate them. That's why I continue to come back. This time, I didn't have any issues at all. I mean, it looks nice and clean, and there's no splotches or anything over it, but this is what the front looks like. I have my name, and then I have the price here, which I'll be putting like a little sticker and then writing the price in. That way, if anyone wants to, they can peel the price off. Maybe they don't want whoever they bought this for to know the price of the item, or if I want to reuse the tags, because sometimes I do reuse the tags, I can just peel the price tag off and put a new sticker down. So that kind of saves these tags a little bit, but this is the back side here. They have the materials up top with polyester, acrylic, and cotton. Those are my most common materials. And then I have the care instructions, which this is something I didn't do on my last tags, where I literally just wrote spot clean only, which made these tags only usable for plushies. I make baby blankets, so I also wanted to use these on the baby blankets, so I included spot clean only, hand wash and air dry, or cold water and low heat. And then I did leave these two spaces blank. That way I could write in my own material or a different care instruction, so that just gives me more opportunity to write on it. But then going to the front again, I decided not to put any links on the front and instead left this space open to write names in. Maybe I want to name the plushie, something like that. But I do have an example of that where I was experimenting last night. Here it's really smudged because the pen I used did not dry like I thought it would, so this was just a test subject. I'm going to use a different pen that'll hopefully dry it better. I mean, all in all, it's not too bad, but I left this to dry maybe 10 minutes or so and it was still wet when I touched it. I'll definitely be looking for a different pen. I also have on the back, I did the check marks. I'm trying to decide if maybe I want to just put like an X in the box instead. I think that'll look a little bit more clean, so I'll probably end up doing that. But then the last thing about these tags is that I am planning on rounding the corners. I know for a fact that these corners are going to get beat up in transit and stuff. I think rounding the corners, although it will be time consuming, it's not too bad out of all the things that I did to my tags last year. I will be most likely rounding the corners, we'll see. And then I'm also going to order some pre-tied strings. They're not technically pre-tied. What they are is they have like a little plastic piece on the end so that they can click together, because honestly I really don't want to tie 1,000 strings, and I know I'm not going to use all 1,000 tags, even like 500 strings. There's just no way. And then on top of that, these holes are super tiny, which means that I would have to use really tiny string to tie the string. It's just not happening. So I'm going to order some of those and I'll show you when they get here. That's pretty much all it is with the tags. I just tried to keep it pretty simple. I put a pretty flower on the back, made it somewhat translucent. I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but it does look really pretty. And I stuck with that font all throughout. The same font I used for my name, I used for the price, materials, and care instructions. Those are my tags. I think they're super cute, and hopefully I've given you all a little inspiration. Done talking about tags. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I have this pretty pink paper here because I needed to take some photos for my little axolotl pattern. I'm rewriting that pattern, which I'll talk to you more in depth in a little bit. Pretty much as of 15,000 followers on Instagram, I'm thanking you all with the updated version of this pattern, and like I said, I'll show it to you later when there's something more interesting to see here. I realized I totally forgot to show you the other thing I received from Vistaprint, and that is this banner, which I put together myself. It's based on my business cards with the Willow image and then my name and everything, but this one has a QR code instead of all the links written out, which I think will be more convenient for people to pull up. This is what I got. I got 2 of them. Not sure how I'm going to use them yet, but we shall definitely see. I do have a couple places I know for a fact I can put them. I just don't know how visible they'll be from the outside of the canopy, so we're definitely going to have to play around with that later. This was the axolotl pattern I was working on, so here's the front cover. This is the free pattern that will go on my Instagram when I hit 15K. I just pretty much made it easier to read and follow, and then adjusted the way things are written. I still need to proofread it, so if you see a mistake in here, I will fix it in a minute. I did add all the images in, hopefully made it easier to follow and read and everything. If you're interested in this pattern, I'll have it linked in the description. It'll most certainly be out by the time this video is out. That's version 2.0. I was thinking of labeling it the updated version, but my sister suggested version 2.0, so that's what we're going with. Or just version 2, but I feel like we need the 0.0, you know? So that's what I'm going with. Anyways, looks good to me. Yesterday I actually worked on quite a few things, but I'm not going to show you any of them just yet because this morning I'm going to work on filming a tutorial for my axolotl pattern. Now I do already have a tutorial for this pattern. This will be the updated version and I'm going to release it alongside my free pattern. So I just finished filming my tutorial for the axolotls, which I made them out of baby bear. Well, I just made the one. It's really cute. A little bit stiffer. I could have probably used a 4mm instead of 3.5, but whatever. What's done is done. I also broke out all my Skein Chanel ones and my Sweet Snuggles Light Chanel Home Slim so I could show them in the video, but that tutorial is now finished. I actually decided that because I'm releasing this pattern, it's like the revised version, I really wanted to release a revised tutorial to go with it as well. I don't confuse anyone. I gotta edit that video. We also did just hit 15,000 on Instagram, so I was about to release this pattern this morning when I remembered or just realized that I should probably film the revised version first and release them both together. The goal is to release this pattern Friday, but that might be too ambitious. Today is Wednesday, so I could potentially get it completely finished. I do have a couple things I need to show you, which I know I've already teased twice now, but I'm actually a little busy right now. So when I finish filming this clip, I'm gonna go ahead and do some house chores, which nobody wants to do. Anyways, after I do those, I will update you. So the next clip will definitely be those things that I'm working on, super secret cool things I'm working on. The other day I placed an order on Amazon and I ordered these strings, which look like this when they're attached to the tag. They're not as long as I would have hoped, but I didn't really see any longer, so I will take what I can get. These latch together on their own so that I don't have to tie so many strings, which I believe I already mentioned. Here's what it looks like on the tag, and then the plastic piece does fit in between the hole. So my hands are gonna like me and thank me for not tying so many knots, but the string is probably not usable for every item. I might have to get longer strings, and by get I mean make longer strings for bigger items. For the most part, these will help save me time and effort, so I will take it. But I just ordered these on Amazon. They're hang tie strings and you should be able to find them. The other good thing about this is that they're made out of nylon, so they're really silky and shiny. So hopefully nobody will be able to confuse this with the plushie. So if they want to cut off the tag, hopefully they won't cut the plushie on accident. Currently I'm working on editing this video here, which is my revised axolotl pattern. Here's the written pattern that'll go on Instagram. I am editing this. I just have to proof watch it at this point, but I kind of wanted to show you my track. You know, at first we'll start with, I edit with DaVinci Resolve, which I just use the free version. Here you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and sometimes 5 tracks. So just to kind of show you what goes into editing, it's quite a lot. For this one I did experiment a little bit and I gave my words some outlines, which I think will be really pretty. And I might actually stick with that for the future videos as well. Going over here to the material section, it all in outlines, and we have a little border around. You go to this round, you can see outline on the words and then a little border around the outside. So just wanted to show that off. I need to proof watch this video, and once that's done I need to export it, put it on YouTube, proof watch again to make sure everything sits right on YouTube, like ads and stuff. As you can see, I proof watch my videos several times. I know a lot of people just do it the one time, if at all. Maybe that's a little crazy, but I'm going to stop making you wait. on seeing my new plushie designs, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab them. Here is my first latest design, and that is a bunny version of my floppy animals. So I made this blue one first, that's why it's a little bit smaller. I accidentally gave the arms and the legs one less round than they should, so I decided to shrink the body a little bit, see how it looks, but I think it looks better with the bigger body. I also wanted to make sure that all the patterns, they're about the same size, so I don't want to adjust things if I don't have to. I do like this blue flowery one more personally. Maybe I'm biased because it's the first one I made, but I tried to keep with like a really realistic bunny face. Obviously it's still stylized. The pink one was the second one I made. Her head turned out fatter. I'm not quite sure how I accomplished that. I put the eyes in a slightly different spot than these ones, so that's why it kind of looks like it has a fatter head. I fixed the body shape, and then I did give the ears a couple extra rounds, which I think looks better. There's a lot of face shaping involved with this pattern, but honestly it wasn't too bad, and I do think it is worth it. These guys are low sew like the other ones. I have 3 things to sew on. Those are the 2 ears and then the tail, which let me show you the tail. It's so fluffy. I love it. I actually made the tail for this guy this color, and I asked my mom, I was like, should I rip this off? And she's like, yeah, you need to rip it off. So that was worth it. I tore that tail off and put the fluffy one on this one, and then I just gave this one a fuzzy tail as well because, you know, they need them at this point. Fuzzy tails and big ears I feel like are what rabbits need. But this is the first thing I worked on, and let me grab the second one I started designing. Here's the second one, and it's a hippo. I feel like this one wasn't perfect first try, which the hippo head gave me such trouble while I was making it. I think the only thing I'm going to tweak for this guy is by removing 1 single crochet round from the head and kind of bring it a little bit closer together, but I think it looks like a hippo. I just kind of had a different vision in mind when I was crocheting it, and this is how it turned out. So I'm dealing with a little bit of, I need to set this aside for a week, come back, and then I'll like it more, which is, it's an issue for me. I plan to make at least the little versions of these. I'm not sure how well a hippo like this will sell, so I might just stick with the one larger one and then make the 2 out of the skinny Chanel. Here's what he looks like sitting though. I would make another hippo in this size, but I don't have any of the nice gray for Sweet Snowball's Light, and I just really don't want to make one out of the gray that hurts my hands, the terrible texture. Speaking of this yarn, I do have a little update for you all, which I'll talk about. Actually, I'll just talk about right now. I think I've pretty much said all I want to say about the hippo, but I'll put the screenshot on the screen. I contacted Michaels on Instagram. Normally I wouldn't message a company like this, but I found a Reddit thread, which I know is probably not the best place to look for information on this yarn. People were just really split on what is actually happening with this yarn. We really don't know more than anything. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna be one of those people who DMs Michaels on Instagram, which I did, and I let them know that I was going to share this information with you all. What I said, it'll be on the screen if you want to read it, but what their reply was pretty much, they aren't discontinuing the yarn. That's not their plan, at least. They're not discontinuing this yarn, but they are planning on restocking it again. They just don't know when. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's so many rumors floating around, because they just don't know when it'll come back. Now, I'm just going to take their word for it at this point because there's no other information on it. I'm just going to take them at their word, like I said. So hopefully that is true, because that's the best case scenario at this point, is that they're fixing it and restocking it. Like I said, they have no idea when, so unfortunately that is where we're at. I have a stash of it that I purchased when I started noticing the issues and people were talking about the yarn disappearing. Once that's gone, hopefully at that point this yarn will be back in stock. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. I would hate to switch yarns at this point because this is my favorite yarn. That is pretty much what I have on the issue. I was originally thinking that they probably wouldn't be able to restock it until the end of the year. Hopefully that's the case, actually, or earlier and not later. I know it's not the greatest news in the world, but at least at this point they're not officially discontinuing the yarn. Good morning, everyone. This morning, nope, that's not accurate. Last night I finished this new design. So this is a teddy bear. I tried to make this guy as low sew as possible. So the only thing that I sewed on was actually the head. I crocheted the ears on, the tail, which teddy bears have tails, I know. It's a little strange to think about. I did an interesting technique with the ears that I'm excited to share with you all. It was a tight squeeze, so I think I'm gonna rework it a tiny bit. I basically crocheted it on over 2 rounds, so I kept that kind of iconic half arch look, half circle look of a bear ear, a teddy bear ear. This guy was looking a little cringe before I added the ears, but as you can see, it pulled it all together, and I think it definitely looks like a teddy bear. Now I currently have 3 designs that I'm working on, and I am planning on making more. Now I did want to talk to you guys about what my plans are for release of these patterns, so let's just get into that real quick. I plan on making as many of these style plushies as I can before my event in April. That's at the last weekend of April, so I still have a good month left, but I really want to bring as many of these designs as I can, and I really can't release the patterns at the same time. So my plan for pattern release is to actually make all of these guys, take the necessary photos for the patterns. I'll write down any notes I need for each pattern, and then after my event in April, I will write it all out, make it all nice and pretty, and then do tester calls. I'll probably do a tester call a week until I catch up, depending on how many of these I finish designing before that point. Kind of lost my train of thought because I had to pause filming, but hopefully I got all my points out there. If not, I'll reiterate on the screen. I do have a couple other plans for sure. Like I want to make a cat in this style, perhaps a puppy, I'm not sure yet. The other thing I did want to mention that I almost forgot though is that technically the hippo is also super low sew, like the teddy bear, where the hippo, the only thing sewn on is the head, and same with the teddy bear. This one probably works up a little bit faster though, just because we do have to make the ears separate and the tail separate, but this one it's all worked in. I still have some minor tweaks I need to give this one, so it's not 100% ready, but the final product will probably look similar to this. That is what I'm working on. I'm currently proof watching my Axolotl video, which is nearly ready for release. I'm going to release it this morning, but I just need to make sure I didn't forget to add anything, which actually now that I'm talking to you, I just remembered I did. So I gotta add that in. This is why we proof watch our videos. I know proof watching is not everyone's favorite thing, but I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of relaxing. A little stressful when you find a mistake and you're like, is it worth it to fix it or not? Anyways, I'm done talking about the most random stuff, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I'm gonna proof watch this, and once that's proof watched, I'm going to release it. So hopefully I can release it this morning. Otherwise I'll release it this afternoon. We'll see. Here is the bear I finished last night, and he's all done and everything. And then I also have this purple one here, which I believe I showed you. Now I need to make the Skein Chanel versions. I need to make another one of these guys in this yarn, but I'm not going to do that right this second. Also need to make the Skein Chanel versions of the bunnies, which I will do soon. The thing I'm going to work on right now is actually a pattern test, which I know I said I wasn't going to do any more pattern tests, but this one is for somebody who I did her last pattern test, which was the Luxie the Monster, so I wanted to do her whole series if she'd let me, and she put up her biggest monster, which if I can get a photo I'll put on the screen, but all you need to know is that it's really adorable, and honestly I don't think I have the time to test it, so I'm still thinking about applying or not. We'll see. If I can't test it, I'll definitely be purchasing a copy, but I'm thinking about that because the tester call will close in a little less than a week, so I have time to think about it. I was selected to test her smaller versions, which is what I'm going to work on. I'm actually going to make like little mini ones, so they'll probably be about this big, I'm hoping. And I think they'll be super cute. But I'm starting with the pink ones. So I have the pink Skein Chanel in here. But yeah, this is what I'm going to work on today. I will start working on pattern photos as well for these guys as time goes on. I just finished crocheting the Skinny Chanel version of the new teddy bear pattern, and I have to say, the yarn changed texture when I got to the body, and so sewing the head on was interesting. I mean, I just have like a pile of fluff from this yarn, which is definitely annoying. It's not too bad, I just couldn't see my stitches at all anymore. I could barely see my stitches with the original texture because of the way the colors variegated. Once that texture changed for the body, I mean, I just couldn't really see anything anymore, which is how I crochet without a stitch marker. That was kind of obnoxious. We got it done. I did end up missing a stitch once I finished attaching the legs, and yeah, I couldn't be bothered to fix that. This isn't the official one. I'm gonna make another one for pattern photos, so I wasn't really too particular. The only reason I made this one was to make sure the head was right, so if I mess up the body a little bit, it's not a big deal. I think this yarn actually worked up really cute. I think it's really cute if it'll focus. I guess not. But it's got reds, blues, yellows, and then the base is pink, so I think it's really pretty. Kind of looks purple, honestly, from a distance. But I did finish this little monster here, which I'm gonna work on the other two soon, but I was picked to do the heart one, so that's the one I did. And of course I gave this one a little booty too, because I mean, it's gotta match Luxie, right? That's my little monster complete. The other day I did actually work on some Skinny Chanel caterpillars, and I only made 2 because these are really rough on my hands, but work on a couple more later. But this is a free pattern on my tutorial. Free pattern on my tutorial? It doesn't even make any sense. It's a free pattern on my YouTube channel. You can find the playlist for all my minis in my playlist section on my channel. I've got tons of patterns and everything, so if you're interested in that, it's all there. I think that's pretty much all I have for you today. I'm gonna continue working on the bear pattern, but it's actually kind of late, so I think I'm gonna go to bed, and then in the morning I'll work on the bear pattern. Ready to see the cutest thing you've seen today? Look at how cute! So I decided to spend my day making a fuzzy rabbit, and I am in love with this cutie. Now, do I want to work with this fuzzy yarn again? The answer is no. But I was also watching a very interesting movie while crocheting this, so that doesn't help the concentration. I think it's super cute. It was worth it. I think the one thing I don't love about this yarn is just obviously not being able to see my stitches. So placing the eyes and sewing anything on is really difficult. I guess on top of that, you can't really see if it's a little bit off or anything, so you know, there's that. This little cutie is finished. I am going to actually switch it up a tiny bit and go back to my teddy bears and make the last one I need to make for pattern photos. I plan to just use this purple color and then this for photos, so that is what I will be doing this evening, and then probably tomorrow as well. I sincerely doubt I'll be able to finish a whole teddy bear in one sitting, but I will definitely try. Time for these dragons to go their forever home, so I cleaned them all up, which you saw the sticky roller. Now I do have a tip for that though. If you're going to use a sticky roller, make sure you roll it on something else first so it's not as sticky, especially if you're using like a super sticky roller. You want to make sure it's not too sticky because you can tear up this yarn specifically. I mean, Chanel yarn is a little bit more delicate than say an acrylic yarn. Just a little piece of advice, but I have the dragons and then I have a little gift that I've been giving recently. The bees work up so quickly, I figured that's a good enough gift to give. It's recognizable. I imagine most people would like a little bee, like a super specific item, but I have my paper down there and I have these in bags. I might ship them in these. The issue is that it's currently is storming. I really don't want the box to get wet, so I may just store them in this or ship them in this plastic too, but we'll see when I do that today. But they are leaving today, so goodbye, dragons. I love seeing you. I definitely need to buy both of these, honestly. They're perfect colors for my event. Not right now. Right now I'm focusing. That's the quick update. I'll check in with you in a little bit. I'm working on that bear, which is what I'm going to work on this afternoon, or at least when I get back. I finally finished this little guy this morning, and it's all sewn together and everything. I got all of my product photos and then the pattern photos as well, so that is all set. Now there's paper towels here, which I don't know if you noticed them or not, but I spilled water all over my desk this morning, so that was fun. Thankfully, my paper didn't get too wet, and it was just a little bit of my yarn got wet. But here are all the bears together, so I finished these two, and then I have the mini ones, which I still think this one's my favorite. I am done with the teddy bears, at least for now. I was thinking about making one that's in that like traditional brown, light brown color. I think I'm just gonna stick with this for now. Now that the bears are finished though, I can put them away and I can go back to working on my rabbit. Speaking of rabbits, I did start another one, which I'll show you in just a second. I'm gonna clear this desk off a little bit first. I showed you this cutie yesterday, and even though I hated working with this yarn and regretted a lot of my decisions, I decided to make another one. He's not finished yet, just the body's done, so I need to add the tail, which is made. I just haven't sewn it on yet. Then I have one ear finished and half the ear started. So this guy's actually almost done, and I just need to finish the head, sew it all together, and then I'm done. I'm gonna do that today and finish this guy. There'll be a little pair, a little duo. But this is Bernat Pipsqueak. For the gray, the texture is a little bit different, which I think is interesting. Honestly, I don't think it's bad though. Like this one I brush out and it gets really soft and fluffy. This one's still just as soft, but it's kind of like clumpy. Just kind of an interesting thing to point out. I'm gonna finish this guy and then I will start working on the skinny Chanel versions of these. So like the little bears, I need to make some little bunnies, and then I can take pattern photos for this pattern as well and have that ready for whenever I decide to actually put the patterns together. Let's see if I can film this without being interrupted again. But I finished this bunny, which I think is pretty cute. It's not perfect. I definitely should have waited on the fur yarn a little while before making another one, but lesson learned. I still, like I said, think it's really cute and everything. Also, that's Lucy. I'm not actually sure why she's in here. I guess she wanted to spend some time with me this evening. Anyways, I pulled out all of my scrap yarn and I started working on some market prep stuff, which is on my desk. So I'll show you in just a second. I'm gonna be breaking this out again in the next video. I'm going to start working on some octos, whales, anything else that I can use scrap yarn for. I also plan next video to break out all my stock, all of my inventory from where I have it in storage in my attic. Do a full inventory, show everything off. So, you know, just a little teaser for next video. But let me show you what I did start working on already. So this is the other thing I was working on. So these are the popping mushrooms, and they are fidget toys. They open and close. Whoops. Usually you do it with 2 hands. I decided to make 12 of these, and I think they're actually looking way cuter than I had even envisioned in my head. I do think it's worth it to make these. I embroidered the eyes so they're nice and safe and everything, but I'm gonna finish these tomorrow because it's pretty late right now. I actually need to go to bed, if you couldn't tell already. But I'm gonna finish them tomorrow at some point, and then I also am working on the rabbit pattern that I just showed you. I'm gonna start doing pattern photos for that soon. I just kind of wanted to take a break from the thin yarn and work with some thicker yarn, so that's the point of this. Good morning. I hope you guys like the sunshine in the video. I am not wanting to plug in my ring light, so we're using the natural sunlight, even though it's a little harsh. It's still really pretty. Last night I worked on these mushrooms, which I'm actually not sure what I updated you on at this point. Here's what they look like. So I have a red one and a light orange pinky color, and then this yellow one here, which has little specks in it. So I pretty much just broke out all my scrap yarn and started working on some caps last night. Shockingly enough, it only took me about an hour and 10 minutes to make all 12 caps, which I'm actually pretty proud of. So just wanted to put that out there. I was getting really tired last night, so I decided to just do these 3, work on the rest this morning. So that's what I'm going to do. That is the plan. I decided to continue doing some market prep stuff and kind of shift a little bit from the pattern designing just to kind of give myself a break from pattern designing. So the thing I market prepped today, besides the mushrooms, which I'm pretty certain I already talked with you about, I made this very bright pink shark, which I think is just a super fun color. I thought, why don't we just go for it and make some crazy colored sharks, and we'll see if they sell or not. So obviously hot pink is the first one we need to make. And then I also started this dusty purple color, which I think is really pretty and actually is perfect for a shark. I need to do the body and then the belly. It's kind of controversial how I put my shark together. I put the belly on separate because I personally think that the sewing, you're always going to get a straight line, but with color work, almost everybody's going to have a different tension, different yarn type, and yarn over or yarn under, all these different factors that'll go into making the color work, you know, move funny. Maybe it'll shift to the side or it just won't line up. I personally think color work is a lot slower than just making the panel and sewing it on. I say controversial because it is talked about a lot on that video, but that video is also done really, really well. I mean, it's at over 200,000 views, which is really awesome, and thank you guys for coming back over and over again to make the shark. I know it's not the most perfect shark design, but I still think it's really cute. I decided to make this pink one. Like I said, I'm making this purple one next, and then I may make a couple more. I actually need to do inventory, which we'll go through in the next market vlog together, and that'll tell me how many sharks I actually have. I think I have 5 counting this one, but I seriously don't know for sure. But I do have a list here actually, which I wanted to show you real quick. I did start taking some inventory. These are my smaller plushies. So these are like the popping mushrooms. I've got bees, the possums on this list, chickens, etc. For the mushrooms, I can actually write 12 down because I don't plan on making any more. I got 12 mushrooms written down. I need to get a head count on the axolotls, which I'm not sure how many I have, and a head count on the ghost whales and octos. And then also my chickens. I know I want to make at least, ballpark estimate, 15 more, somewhere around there, but I don't know how many I have right now, so I didn't want to start making them until I pulled those out of storage and checked on them, counted them, and got a tally. And then here's my minis list. And you can see I have quite a few things I actually want to make more of. I have all of these finished. All the numbers that are written in means that they're done and I'm not making any more. But I have to make turtles, caterpillars, spiders, ghosts, possums. I haven't even touched the mini possums, which those are even more people's favorite than the larger ones. So I've got a long list of things I still need to do, and it is closing in fast. I think there's like 4 weeks left before this event, which is actually kind of terrifying to say out loud. Honestly, if I don't finish everything, that's okay, because I do have a lot of inventory. Like I said, we'll go through everything in the next video together. I am stressed, but I think anybody before an event is stressed. So I mean, just because I am stressed, it doesn't mean I'm alone, you know? And I'm sure you guys all feel the same right before an event or as an event closes in. I know I've talked about this in previous videos, but just in case you're new here, I am trying to do an event once a year and potentially twice a year, but for the most part once a year. And this event in April is that once a year event where I just take as much as I possibly can and sell it all. That is the goal. The goal, for be prepared, my goal is to make $10,000, not counting expenses or anything else. So that's like total profit. That's my goal. Now, I know it's a huge goal, but that is what I'm hoping for. And last time I went, I think I made a little over 6,000, which I didn't have the best inventory. I didn't know what to expect. So this time I know what to expect. I have lots of great inventory. Anyways, my camera battery is actually not battery, but my memory card's getting full. So I need to erase some things, but I think that's also a sign that I need to stop talking for a minute and catch up in the next clip. I'm sure you're tired of looking at this shark, my mushrooms back there. I will see you in a minute. So I really quick wanted to talk to you all about this pattern thievery that I've been dealing with recently. Usually it's just on Facebook. It's people stealing my free patterns specifically. I have yet to come across someone stealing my paid for patterns, so hopefully it'll stay that way. This is an Etsy shop that is selling my free patterns. They have stolen my photos. They have taken my names out of every photo they could. They are changing things just enough that I don't know. It doesn't look like me. I just want you all to be aware that if you ever see my patterns on Etsy, they are stealing them and they are selling them, you might not even get a pattern, honestly. If you ever see my patterns on Etsy, please report them. I think it's really important that I let you all know that this is not me. This is a scam. I would never charge $4.33 for this pattern. Just in the future, if this ever happens again, they actually have 2 different listings on the same account. They just started their account on the 12th of March, so like less than 2 weeks ago. Over 2 weeks, something like that. Barely any time has passed, and it looks like all that they have on their account is other people's patterns, so I don't know what's the likelihood of any of these people watching this video, but if you are one of these people and they've stolen one of your patterns, just so you're aware, you should probably go and report them for stealing. And not only that, but they're scamming people, because this pattern is free on my YouTube and on my Instagram, and they stole it from me and they are selling it. I've reported them for stealing this, and hopefully Etsy will do the right thing and take the patterns down, because I want to protect you all, but also they shouldn't be making money on something that is a free resource on my Instagram. You can see that the backgrounds they kind of messed with a little bit. I had somebody the other day, they left a comment saying that bees have been around for a long time. What do you mean they stole your pattern? This is what I mean when I say they steal my pattern. They are blatantly taking my photos, my pattern, everything that I spent time working on, and they are selling it. For example, on Facebook, they might be just posting on Facebook, and they continue to get away with this. From what I've seen, there is no way for me to really report them on Facebook, so I just try and avoid it altogether because it just bugs me, and not being able to really do anything about it, I just have to ignore it. But something like this on Etsy, thankfully there seems to be a way to report them, and hopefully it will go through. It's just really blatant. If you're new here on my channel, the only places you can find me are my Ribbler shop and my coffee shop, spelled Ko-Fi. Those are the places where you can purchase patterns from me. Now you can find my free patterns on my Instagram and my YouTube channel, which are under the handle Loops and Knots Crochet. I also have a Facebook page, but I rarely post on there because Facebook drives me insane, even more than Instagram. I just kind of wanted to mention that for anyone new or anyone curious. Just don't purchase anything that are my patterns on Etsy. They are stealing them, and they're probably going to scam you. So please, if you see anything on Etsy, report it if you can. If you don't know how to report it, that's fine. Just don't purchase from them. They run these big sales as well to try and trick you into purchasing. Just a couple of tips if you want to purchase patterns on Etsy. Focus on, for example, when their shop was put together. This person, they started on the 12th. Here, you can literally see it. They started on March 12th, which is already highly suspicious to have 39 items in their shop. And that's highly suspicious. Now, it's not to say that it can't happen, but you should also do a little bit of research and see if they are scamming people. You can see these patterns here. I mean, this photo here doesn't even really make any sense because it's clearly unfinished. Just to let you all know, and if you see like duplicates in their shop, that's also highly suspicious. I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I also kind of wanted to talk about it because it was bugging me. Just please be careful out there. Please don't make any suspicious purchases. I wouldn't want your hard-earned money to go to a scammer stealing other people's stuff, especially, like I said, because most of these patterns are free and you can find them elsewhere. I'm a little upset about that, so that's why I wanted to talk about it. That's pretty much all I had to add to that. If you have any questions about this type of stuff, definitely leave your questions in the comments and I'll try and answer them, but try and be really careful, okay? I don't want you guys getting scammed, so you have been warned. I went through their like report portal, which is kind of interesting. I reported them for infringing on my copyright. This isn't registered, but it is my own property, and I did take these photos. I mean, this is literally my hand in these photos, my wall, my lights. Rant over. I think I got it off my chest. I mean, there's a lot more things I could say about it. That's pretty much it. I don't want to give this any more thought or any more time, so hopefully Etsy will do what it's supposed to do and I can move on from this. If you ever see any of my patterns on Etsy, please let me know because I can actually report them. I'd much rather do that than you guys get scammed. Anyways, thanks for listening to that whole thing, and let's get back to the more positive stuff. Unfortunately, it is about the time to end this video, but before we do that, I thought let's break out all of my stuff and give you a little sneak peek into next market vlog. These are all my recent designs. The first 4 are released. You have Bailey, Edmund, the elephant, Holly, the Highland cow, and Carmen the cow. All of those guys are out. My latest design is the teddy bear, which I still need names for all the new ones, but I'm not going to worry about that right this second because I think I'm going to stick with my plan and release these after April. So I'll start releasing these in May. There's probably still up to 2 months out for a release date of these, but I know that you guys understand, but I also want to be real and genuine with you. Same with the little dog pattern. If you guys are curious, that one's probably also going to be a couple months out at this point. I just really want to focus on this market prep stuff, so I'm trying not to be too overwhelmed is really the main goal, is to just work on things slowly and over time. Anyways, back to the point. I have the teddy bears here and then the bunnies. I think I'm going to release the bunnies first before the teddy bear because it is spring and it'll be starting to become summer. So I think the bunny just needs to be out the soonest. The 2 larger versions and then the fuzzy ones that I made, which this gray one is my favorite. I need to make the skinny Chanel versions of these guys, and then after I finish that, I'm gonna go back to the hippo, rework anything I need to on that guy, and make the smaller versions, which I have to say, seeing all the little versions together, it makes me so happy to see them. They're so cute. This is all my newest patterns. I plan to make several more before my event. I'm not sure what that noise is, and I'm hoping you guys can't hear it, so I'm gonna talk over it. I plan to make at least a cat, and then I was thinking like a really basic dog pattern in this style. Those are the 2 patterns that I have planned out that I want to start making when I finish the bunny, and then I think I'll think about it some more because I'm not 100% sure what I want to do next. If you guys have any pattern suggestions though, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. I know I've had somebody mention anteater, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't think I'm going to do that, at least not right this second, but I might look into that in the future. I thought that was kind of funny. There's something else I was going to say. I lost my train of thought, so I guess we'll just end it here. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of this video. If you did, leave a purple heart emoji in comments with whatever you want to say. I really appreciate each and every one of you so much, and for just all the support you guys have given me. I mean, honestly, I'm just completely blown away every time I post, just seeing all the love and support you guys give. I don't know, I just feel like that's amazing. And I know some of you say you're like, oh, you're so relatable, how do you not have more subscribers? And I have to say, I actually prefer my channel the size it is now. Obviously, I still want to continue to grow, but there's just something very special about still being able to talk with most of you through comments and stuff, trying to like stay on top of it all, and I can still at this point stay on top of it. I just want to say thank you again for everything, all the support. Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. Without this business, we would have been in some serious trouble last year. So this has been the support we needed as a family. Thank you for watching to the end. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you later. Bye.